But with the thrill of transformation came risks she had never fully considered. After a particularly invasive body sculpting procedure, Bella woke up to a searing, unfamiliar pain. Her vision was blurry, her body drenched in sweat, and her heart raced in irregular beats. Panicking, she called the clinic, her voice weak and cracking. She was rushed back to the surgeon's office, where he informed her that she had developed an infection from one of her incisions. The recovery was long, painful, and filled with days where even the slightest movement sent waves of pain rippling through her body. She was bedridden for nearly a month, the vibrant lifestyle she had fought so hard to keep now out of reach. She promised herself that she'd stop there, that this would be the last time she'd risk her health for beauty. Yet her desire for perfection grew stronger than her resolve to stop. She had become an icon in her social circle, a picture of wealth and beauty, and she feared that her allure might fade if she didn't keep up. The promise she made to herself dissolved when she encountered a new up-and-coming procedure, one that promised a petite, sculpted nose and high cheekbones without the need for invasive surgery. The results would be swift, they said, with minimal recovery time. Without hesitation, she went for it. The day of the procedure was surreal. The clinic room was bright and cold, the smell of antiseptics sharp. As she lay on the operating table, a sense of nervousness settled over her, but she shook it off, determined to emerge even more beautiful. However, things took a dark turn. During the procedure, the surgeon nicked an artery by mistake, sending a gush of blood down her face. Panicked voices filled the room as the medical team tried to stabilize her. She felt a cold numbness creeping over her, her body slipping in and out of consciousness as her mind raced with fear. Hours later, Bella woke up in a sterile hospital room, the steady beep of machines the only sound breaking the silence. The surgeon, standing by her bed with an anxious expression, explained that they had nearly lost her. There was severe blood loss. "We managed to save you, but this was a very close call," he said, his voice thick with an unease he couldn't quite hide. Her face was swollen beyond recognition, bruises dark and angry across her cheeks and forehead. The aftermath left her bedridden once again, her face hidden beneath bandages and her mind filled with haunting memories of the near-fatal ordeal. Even after she healed, the scars, both physical and emotional, were undeniable. Her nose was slightly asymmetrical now. Her skin had lost some of its natural elasticity, and the bruises took weeks to fade. Her close brush with death terrified her, but the pain and fear soon faded as her followers showered her with admiration for her glamorous transformation. She buried the trauma and convinced herself it had been worth it. Yet the consequences didn't end there. The repeated procedures began to take a toll on her body, even as she sought out new ways to push her appearance to its limits. Her once smooth skin became patchy in places, her body sore and achy from the constant adjustments. Her immune system weakened, leaving her more vulnerable to illnesses, and her energy waned. But she masked these signs of exhaustion with makeup and designer clothes, hiding the physical toll beneath layers of luxury. With each new surgery, each risk, she felt herself slipping further away from the woman she had once been. The girl who had left her small town with dreams of success through hard work was now unrecognizable, her natural beauty buried beneath layers of artificial enhancements. Her body, now a canvas for countless surgeries, carried hidden scars and a fatigue that no amount of glamour could cover. And although her social circle continued to admire her flawless exterior, the woman beneath was left fractured, haunted by the price she had paid for beauty. By the time she graduated, Bella found herself trapped in a gilded cage. The luxury she had once viewed as temporary was now her lifeline, and letting it go felt impossible. She moved through the elite circles, her presence desired at every gathering. Her admirers showered her with gifts, took her on lavish vacations, and treated her as the prize she had been molded to become. But behind the glamorous exterior, she found herself feeling hollow, disconnected from her own sense of self. Her friends moved on with their lives. Some settled down, others found love, and a few pursued meaningful careers. But Bella was left behind, adored yet deeply alone. She began to long for something real, a connection that wasn't built on expectations or appearances. Love, however, felt distant and intangible. Instead, she fixated on the idea of having a child, thinking it would bring her the companionship she craved. In her mind, she crafted a plan, one that wouldn't require her to give up control. She seduced Musa, her loyal houseboy, a modest young man who had worked for her for years. He was flattered and nervous, not suspecting her motives, but soon after, she dismissed him, satisfied that her plan was in motion. Months later, Bella felt a new sense of hope as her pregnancy progressed, anticipating the arrival of someone who would be hers entirely. But her journey toward motherhood wasn't smooth. Complications arose that she brushed off, thinking they were just normal symptoms. But when her child was born, she was confronted with a heartbreaking reality. Her son had 6 hands, a tragic consequence of the surgeries, chemicals, and transformations she had subjected herself to in her pursuit of perfection. In that hospital room, holding her child, Bella felt a wave of sorrow unlike anything she had known. All the wealth, admiration, and beauty she had once chased seemed meaningless. Her opulent parties, designer clothes, and social media fame were hollow in the face of this reality. She looked down at her son, understanding for the first time the true cost of her choices. Alone in that room, she realized that everything she had built was fragile, and the emptiness she had tried to fill with luxury had finally found its form.